Welcome to the way of the empath. So hopefully, because I'm on a different phone now, that I will have more time, but I don't want, this could become like a whole schooling of how to deal with healing, being a healer in the world, because as an empath, you are, a true full empath is a master healer. Okay. It's like Chiron, embodied. Um, it's like, the most mastered Sagittarian archetype of like the high level Sagittarius, for example. But you don't have to be a Sagittarius for you to become an empath, or you don't have to be someone with like high energy with the Cancerian traits, which cancers tend to be very empathic. So do, of course, Pisces and Scorpio, very strong water element, tend to be focused on that. But it's important that we understand that it has everything to do with the aptitude of desire, if that makes sense. I might not even be using the words properly. Aptitude. It's the strong desire to want to be an empath, in a sense of that, on a deep level, every single one of us is an empath. We just haven't we haven't become that because we haven't stripped away that which is not the empath. Okay. And the desire has to do with how much you want to be yourself in a world where most people are not themselves. Okay. That's really, really important to understand that. And I try to differentiate that and discern that, and kind of draw that distinction in as many videos as I can, because I'm kind of just getting the knack of YouTube and trying to figure out how to reach my audience best. And of course, the reason I've started with dark videos with darkness, is so that I can truly communicate these things to people and have them really, really deeply understand. And that I'm not, the nuance in what I'm sharing is really fully accessed by people, because I know that people are capable, once they get the right information, they're very capable of doing the right thing. And they're really capable of making changes, and then the world becomes a much better place. Now, the empath is really the prime leader in all of that. And the reason in this current day and age, because in the past you had like the sort of dominant energy of like the alpha male, alpha female, like lead and grandiosity and stuff. And people, fans and everybody going wild, oh, Justin Bieber, kind of stuff. But the next level is the Sigma and the empath, right? And that's the way that we destroy narcissism, because see, it's like the alpha male female has a narcissistic trait that's really embedded in those archetypes. And that's not a good thing. We want to eliminate that. We don't want to, the Sigma is like the alpha, but like more advanced than the alpha. Okay. So that's why it's so important. And all of this is up for interpretation. So anything that I say, I know that people are going to interpret it the way they want to, or the way that however they're perceiving it. It's one of the reasons that I'm really working on having things in darkness and not telling a lot about my own life, because I know that people are not going to benefit if there are people that are very messed up out there that are going to come after me. Okay. And they do it already, even with my little scope. My little scope, meaning that I'm not even out there on, like this is new. And it's because everywhere I go, and this is something that's really important to the empath, okay? The trait of the empath is that wherever I go, and especially, as I mentioned in my last one on the waning moon, especially around the waning moon, what people tend to do is they gawk at me. They stare at me. I can't seem to get away from them. They're like following me. There's always someone who has got to park as close as they can to my car, or has got to sit as close as they can to me. And they're doing that. Not consciously, but on a very deep level. And this isn't just one person. This is not just one person. This is everyone around me. This is everyone around me. Okay. It's like everybody gets really weird. And I'm like, stop, go away. But it's what's happening on the subconscious level that people aren't aware of is they're searching. They need answers, and they need my energy. Okay? They need my energy. I'm not saying that it's my energy that they really ultimately need, but they're using me to get to that energy rather than finding it themselves by healing their own emotional body. Okay? And this is why I like to be scarce around the new moon, because it's not like they know that what they're doing. And sometimes I just outright say it when I get annoyed enough, like everybody coming to me, like what the heck, you know? Like I literally walk into a room, or I walk into a store or anywhere where there's people gathered, and they literally all turn around and stare at me. Okay. It's like that. Okay. And sometimes I address all of them at once when they're doing that. Like, what you looking at there? Or given it's an opportunity for me to speak to the crowd about their unhealthy ways. And I'm not afraid to do it. It's not like I'm doing it to be mean. Again, the empath we don't have a mean bone in our body. It's not about that, ever, for the empath. It's the reason that the narcissist is so obsessed with the empath, okay? It's the reason the narcissist is so obsessed with the empath is because the empath is the opposite, okay? The empath is all loving. The empath is all purity, pure water, pure yin. And the narcissist is the opposite of that. And so much the opposite that the narcissist will do anything not to heal, to the point of harming others in the process in order to not heal. Okay? That's really important that people understand that. That is what a narcissist is. Okay? And there are varying degrees of that, of course, because some narcissists, hi, sweetie, hi, lovey, did you catch that? See? You little love. Let's get you some water. Hi, love. Hi, love. Little love. I know. What's this? What's this, huh? I guess I gotta throw this out. Uh-oh. Is there a fence there? Oh, I'll just put it here. Anyway, I need to take care of these little ones right now before I go in. So as I was trying to say, and I just got a little distracted because I wanted to make sure I was taking care of things properly, is that the empath is a very clear energy, and the narcissist is the exact opposite of that, okay? And in a world where there's a lot of narcissists, so much so that Dr. Ramani, of all people, and she's quite moderate with this, says that 1 out of 4 people are narcissists. Okay, that's a big number there. That's a big number. That puts a lot of people in that category. And I feel like I'm getting distracted here for a minute because I'm picking up some psychic turbulence around me with the people that are driving by and the people in their homes and stuff. And this is very important that people understand that I'm well aware of all this stuff. Okay, well aware of it. And I have to navigate it because I'm very sensitive to it and very aware of it. And then I have to navigate. I know it's okay. They're just passing by, honey. They're not going to come near. He's just walking. Okay. And then she just piped up because she's like, who the heck is that? She's smart. She knows that person had some aggression. So the empath is well aware of all these things. Honey, I'll see you in a little while, okay? And I've got to put her in that one. Okay. Put her in that coop over there. Okay. All right. Okay. So having us understand that is really key, because when you understand that simplicity of that, like that basic discernment, so that basic discernment, then you're able to see that subtlety, because it's subtle at the very most kind of base level and of the spectrum, and then from that subtle level comes a more heavy level, because it's when you see the spectrum, okay, it's almost like at the most pure then comes the most dark. And it might be also why it is that empaths have to deal with so much darkness. I don't agree that that's the answer, because I think that I should say, not think, I see that the world relies too much on the empaths, and it's not a healthy way for the world to go, okay? Because to make other people fight your battles when you're not doing the work on yourself it's not the right thing, okay? Um, Okay, so there's some things I have to do, so the empath is dealing with lots of layers of things at every given moment. There's the complexities of needing to literally spiritually protect everything that I have, that every single day. There's the complexities of being aware of what that person in that car who is parked right there next to where I'm going, where I am, and their thoughts going on in their head about the specific situation, and how they're curious, because curiosity kills the cat, and everybody's got to stare at me when the moon is waning, because they need, which is unhealthy, but they need my energy because they don't have a direct connection to the source themselves. Okay? So the empath is connected to the source. You could say the empath's the body of an empty vessel that's the source just pours through. But there is an identity in that, and each empath has their own identity, in the sense of like they're a specific individual. So it's not like they're just like this body robot of energy kind of thing. It's that there actually are a personality within that, and that's important to draw that distinction, because there's this tendency to, because the empath is so often reflecting everyone around them. And this is dangerous too, because if you're around someone as an empath who's really messed up, it's going to affect you. Someone who has a lot of anger, like today in court, having to deal with this very angry individual and having it pour in through my body, and then having to still set my own boundaries in a way that protects me. I'm feeling like I need to make a change. So this is what I mean by being an empath. Okay, so a lot of people, it's like 10:26 at night, and I'm thinking I need to go and move my car and go somewhere else. Now, this might sound crazy to you guys who like stay in one place every night. That's not how it is for me. Okay, I go to the place that is most protective. Okay, and right now I'm not really sure about that situation. I did just set a boundary energetically to protect the vehicle, and then protect the place that I put my birds. Okay, I think it actually is okay. 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 But anyone, as an empath, everyone is out to get me. I know that that sounds weird, okay? I'm not saying everyone, but like on a level, when the moon is waning, there's so many bad people. There's so many bad people. I mean, it's like, when I say bad people, I'm saying unconscious, addicts, violence. You know, how many people don't eat meat and animal products, okay? Okay, that's the people who are the problem, okay? And because of that, from the empath's view, they're dangerous because they're going to do bad things around the new moon. When they actually should be, they're being tested. They're all being tested to see if they're going to do those things. They're being tested to see if they're going to get it right this time and not be a hater, not look for someone to sacrifice, not look for a scapegoat, not look for someone to hurt and to practice transference of their toxicity on. No, that they're going to do the right thing and they're going to deal with their own shadow, because this is also a very good time for shadow work. And they're going to break a cycle inside of themselves, and they're going to do the better thing. And they're going to grow. So shadow work, growth, the Heyoka. I mean, this channel has a lot of really, Sigma has there's important connections and correlations with all these things. Now, I'm going to get down to biological stuff here. Okay, so the body affected by the moon cycle, okay, the body is purging. The organs, the glands, the body is going through a purging when the moon is waning, especially the last week of the waning moon. Purging out toxicity, okay? The body is purging out toxicity. It's purging out even amino acids and proteins. The body is purging out all these different things, okay? Unwanted waste. And with those things are connected to emotions. This is why people will think about someone they hate and like eat a candy bar or something. Okay, I know that sounds weird, but you got to make the connection. Like when your mother made that delicious freaking pumpkin pie in the holidays, and whenever you eat that pie, you have a memory. Or if the crust is made the way your mom made it, you're like, oh my God, this is my mom. And you get to feel that emotional connection to your mother again. So you have this memory, right? I know I'm sounding a little bit intense right now, but it's because I'm a little concerned about a couple things right now. But I think I'm going to be okay. I'm going to work it through. It's because I'm dealing with a lot of haters right now, a lot of haters who've targeted me. And that's, as the empath, that's when we need to be the strongest. I had to stand up to the judge in court today. I literally had to tell the judge that it's not my responsibility if the court misinforms me. And then she muted me 2 or maybe 3 times, and I still unmuted myself and said, I'm going to talk. And I'm going to tell you the truth, and I don't care whether you like it or not. That's the empath, okay? That's the Heyoka, Sigma empath. For the world to change, there has to be more people like Mary Magdalene, okay? There's got to be a lot of people, especially women, because women are the leaders right now into this era of the feminine. There's got to be enough women who stand up and say no more. And the sad thing is that women are the ones who've been oppressed most of millennia. So for us to stand up, even though we have so much trauma in our bodies from having been abused by men for millennia, and stand up against those who have harmed us deeply, is incredibly brave. Like, there are no words for how much bravery that is, okay? So it's not easy. And, you know, the reason I was in court today was dealing with a narcissist, setting a boundary, getting a restraining order on someone who wanted to gaslight me and claim that my reactions to their abuse is abusive. How dare you defend yourself from my abuse? How dare you stand up for yourself? You're abusing me. It's like you forget that your anger is a secondary emotion. You loser. Anger is a secondary emotion. Underneath it, sadness. The sadness of the narcissist underneath that and that toxic shame is, oh, I did horrible things because I have so much shame because I'm afraid of being abandoned. And I I want to force you to stay with me while I abuse you. And I'm so sad because I ultimately hate myself. I mean, that would be the layer underneath those things. I mean, I could take it, there's a lot more layers to that, but I kind of spun the layer like to the bottom of the layer pretty quickly, okay? Because there's a lot of layers. It's your fault that I hate myself. It's your whatever. It's your fault. It's you who need to let me abuse you. I'm sad that I can't control you. I'm sad that I can't force you to be stuck in a cage while I abuse you. It's all those things. And underneath it all is I hate myself and I want to die. I want to kill myself. It's that, okay? And let me be clear. I am not saying right now to this YouTube channel and to anyone who's listening that I am suicidal. Never. The empath is never suicidal. The empath becomes so strong by dealing with hatred our entire lives. We become so strong and so aware of, we have so much faith in the process of healing that we know without a doubt that we're going to win, that we're going to win. And that doesn't necessarily, it doesn't enter my mind that I'm not going to win, because I know I'm going to win. It's really that person's loser mentality might enter my mind, but I'm aware of it. That's him. It's really key because, see, again, this is not just something that came overnight for me. This is something that I think that others will not have to sacrifice as much as I have, and this is one of the reasons for this channel. Like, not everybody's going to have to go through all the hell I have, okay? And yet, it's because of the stuff I've broken as a cycle breaker. Empaths are absolute cycle breakers. We're the black sheep. We're the scapegoats, you know. We're the iconoclasts, plural. And every single one who claims they're empath, which is their true nature, becomes part of that revolution, okay? And that revolution is an emotional revolution. It's an emotional revolution. Why is it that important that we heal the emotional revolution? Because the emotional body is the connector between the spirit and matter. It's what man, the human animal, has deranged itself in by disconnecting those two things from each other. Oh, you're so spiritual. And yet, like, what does that hell mean? You know? Or, look at, that's a materialistic person. Well, the reason is because the emotional body, the connector between those two, the emotional body, the connector between those two hasn't been healed. It is the divide, that is the shadow work, is the division there. That is the shadow work, is taking that divide, taking those things that are divided, that's inside that divide is the emotional body, okay? And the emotional body is the pain body that needs to be healed, okay? Now, as I've mentioned many times before in my messages, that the answer is dietary is a very large part of that because the diet, think of the word diet, it has die in it, okay? D-I-E. Because the diet is let me just check something here. Oh, bummer, okay. The diet is what feeds the emotional body, okay? Or it diseases the emotional body. So, and why we differentiate, why it's so important to discern, okay, this is the important thing about discernment, okay? Why it's so important to discern here about what I keep saying about the water and the mud, the two separate things, is that you have to learn to identify with the love and the light, the purity, the water, the element of feeling, of pure feeling, pure yin, pure feeling, because that is what's going to help you to stop the addictions to unhealthy behavior. Because the behavior is what's feeding the emotional body, the toxicity, the things that turn into muddy emotions. Okay? Parasitic, unhealthy food stuffs, for example. Very much unhealthy to the emotional body. Having sex just like with anyone, or even with someone that you both don't know yourselves, and you get involved that way. Drinking, taking drugs, basically the 7 deadly sins, you could say. They're all connected to that. I just remembered I completely forgot to do this. I told her I was going to fix it. I didn't. Well, a lot of people rely on me. They rely on me to do things that they rely on me to be a superhuman. But the reason for it is because there aren't enough people practicing it. Now, like I said before, it's the lack of support that the empaths have, and what makes us so supposedly special is the fact there's so few people doing it. So few people are empaths. It doesn't mean that more people can't be empaths. In fact, the purpose of this channel is to make more people into empaths. Make them, meaning help people to tune into who they already are, to be able to learn how to differentiate between what that is. I think this person forgot this. Okay, anyway. To differentiate between what that is, but they didn't forget it because they were meant to leave that for me. And this is the interesting thing also, okay? What I just saw was God's hand. And I'm not talking about in a cloud. I'm talking about things that people do that I find that help me is God's hand working through them. Because the empath is basically working directly with God, God is saying, here, this is for you. Now, would that mean that I'm going out and stealing shit? Excuse my French, but and going, oh yeah, God gave that to me. No, it's not so much like that. It's more of a okay, this is the right thing. This is something I'm supposed to use. It doesn't necessarily mean it's something that's burdensome for anyone else. In fact, that's the key about it, is that it's not burdensome. People would say, well, how do you do that? Because how do you not be burdensome in some way? Well, you can't get too neurotic about this, okay, guys? You're already working on not being neurotic by getting and eliminating the disconnect from the emotional body and the mental body and the spirit body, right? We're already working on that. So why would we want to add a whole nother element of surprise and complexity and neurosis by saying, oh, well, you don't want to squish an ant kind of thing? Well, it's about awareness. So you really might be looking down and seeing that ant before you step when you have awareness, okay? If that helps, that might be a good way to put it into perspective, okay? It's like you don't mess around with your life. Oh, I'm going to step on an ant and I'm vegan. No, and I'm an empath. It's that by developing emotional intelligence, you feel that there's something there down on the ground and, oh, okay, I'll miss that little snake or whatever it is, okay? That's it. It becomes like that. So it's not really neurotic. It's not like that neurotic stuff that a lot of people like to think that it is. It's not. It's not that at all. Like, leave that be. That don't even go there with that. Don't waste your time. There are much better things to be focusing on than being like, because yes, like the other night, and this is still breaking my heart, I had lit a candle, because I keep a candle going at night to protect me, and the electric candles don't work, guys. It's got to be fire. The fire protects us. And there was a little tiny spider, but I saw him like climbing up, like, oh no, there's a fire. Let me get the heck out of here. And what broke my heart is I thought he was fine, that he was getting out, but then he slipped because it was too slippery, the glass. Because of course I use candles in glass, so there's protection there, like, from it burning something. I work on everything being as protected as possible. But he fell back in, and as he got too close to the flame, I started like scrambling to find something to protect him from the flame. But it was too slow. It was too slow. And because of that, he met a devastating burn. And he didn't just burn up to a crisp. He barely burned, but it was enough that killed him. And that just broke my heart. And I thought, no, maybe I can save him. And I was able to take out the flame and everything, and take his little body, his tiny, tiny little body, in a way that wouldn't hurt him worse, and put him out and begged him to try to live. And then I saw his spirit leave, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a little prayer for him and send him directly to heaven. And yes, the empath is a powerful, powerful judge. I'm trying to give people the reassurance that being an empath really is powerful and important, because even though it has many challenges, and it's a very difficult place to be, it's a very difficult placement, but it's only difficult because there's so few that are practicing this way. If there were more people practicing as empaths, like being themselves, there would be less of a need for empaths to frickin' run away all the time and constantly look for another place to be for the night, and protect their car and protect the animals that they're taking care of, and whatever it is, if people were to not be so horrible to us, because they're more empathic. Now, again, remember, the empath is really, 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 really sensitive. Like, we feel it all. Nothing can really get past us, like, people can't just go and lie to us and think somehow that's going to slide. It's just not going to work. There's just no way. And it's like we might not even tell them, that we are aware that they're lying. But usually we will. Usually they're going to know pretty quick that we're not going to buy that. I feel like I've said enough. Yeah, it's like everybody wants to see me all the time, especially when the moon is waning, because again, this is when the emotional body is the most damaged, in a sense, because of how people react to the moon cycle. When they should be going within, they should be healing, they should be resting, they should be working out whatever stuff that they've got going on emotionally, so that they can embrace the pure new moon, which is when everything is empty and it starts over. It's like a reset. We get an opportunity for a reset. And yeah, so thank you for listening. And as we learn moon cycles, remember that you're also learning how to manifest, because manifestation, money, everything, it's all connected to the moon. The sun has more to do with health. It has to do with the community. It has to do with like larger things. But the sun is the moon in a macrocosmic way. So it's like, this is why I think this is one of the big pieces that, here I go on and on here. Thought I was finishing. This is one of the big pieces of why men and women, or especially men, don't get along with women, because they don't get it that women are just like them in a smaller form, in a sense of like they're acting out those same things, but like on a smaller level. Now, I think it would help men too, because to accept that, because men who think that their women are not cheating on them, when they say their women, they really got it wrong. Who are those other men cheating on with if all women are so loyal? I mean, we just, it's kind of simple. It's kind of simple. And she's just better at hiding it. That's the only difference. So it would help for men to get that, because then they would stop being so arrogant and thinking that they're so special. Because it's nice to feel special because you really are special, not because you're just lying to yourself about how special you are. Like, it's better to be special because you really deserve that terminology, if that makes any sense. Oh, geez. I feel like I need to retire for the night. Yeah. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I lost something very important. I don't know where it is. It always seems to be these days. I'm losing my little recording device that I usually wear around my neck, and I do that to protect myself, and I seem to not know where it is right now. It seems to get lost, which means it's like as if I have to wear it all the time, otherwise I lose it. And I can't wear it in the shower, and I can't wear it, there's things like I just can't stand to have things around my neck, honestly. Got to keep it clear. Yeah, so thanks guys for listening. I hope this one is not too meandering. I need to get, clearly I need to get some rest, and I need to get some exercise. I get it every day in the morning, but I need to get it later in the evening, and I used to do that, but right now I'm really transitioning. I'm having to do a lot of maneuvering in order to get me in a proper place, to kind of do more healing for people. And that's just requiring me to do that. But yeah, hang in there with me. Feel free to listen to other videos, and just know that I like to give the forecast today, what's happening. I'm not necessarily always just speaking like from, I don't know, like astrology, tarot, other things like that. But I try to organize things in such a way that I'm not like just confusing people. Okay, because this really is about being an empath, but being an empath is a very universal thing as well. So, okay, you guys have a good night or morning or whatever time of day you're listening to this, and be well and be blessed. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be talking with you soon. Be blessed.